Hi, I'm Molly Matthews, and welcome to Job IQ Outside the Box. Today I'm here with a married couple who are both psychiatrists, and I'd like to say welcome to David and Jill Scharff.
Thank you.
Tell us what
Nice
you
to
do.
be here. Shall I go first?
Please do.
Oh, ladies first. We're psychiatrists, we're psychoanalysts. We work with adults and children, couples and families, and we teach quite a bit. We founded an institute in 1994, which is still going strong under new leadership now, which takes us to the point of our being here, I guess.
Which is, what do you do after you hand off your professional baby?
That's
Right.
exactly why we're here. So the people that are listening today, what would you tell them you learned from the transition of an institute you built in the 90s to where you are now?
Well, my thought about it, first of all, we needed to hand on our institute, our teaching institute, so that it could survive us. And also, I wanted to do it while I was young enough to do something else, which so far is working.
And I want to know what that something else is, but what's your answer to the pass it along question?
I've always thought that before you do any project, you have to have a succession plan built in. So from the beginning, I was always handing over one role to someone else, then the next role to someone else. And so it's going on, because although we've handed over being directors of this institute, I mean, the truth is we're still kind of there. We're just not in charge. But we still run things, like I run a child program, and David runs the international programs, which is his new thing, reaching out to China and Russia.
So my projects have really involved setting up a training program in China, which has evolved into other programs there that will expand that.
But first of all, you could say, well, wait, that's just the same thing you were doing at home. But it isn't, because the people that we're training are at a very different stage of development. They haven't had access to the kind of analytic thinking or European philosophical thought that the analytic thinking comes out of. So you're dealing in a completely different context. There's masses to learn.
Right, and what's wonderful about it is the amount to learn. So it's a different culture, the deep structure, their thought is different, and that's let me feel like a learner, a late life learner. And I do feel anyhow our work lends itself to being a lifelong student.
You'd also be surprised how many people I've interviewed for Outside the Box talking about being a lifelong learner. And
Yeah.
that was a big motivator.
I think it's
Yeah.
really crucial to do something you're interested in that you can keep your mind engaged with. So that's led to me writing about China and the cultural differences and what we have learned there, and writing a book and establishing a journal and more training programs. And now recently the same sort of thing has opened up in Russia.
I want to hear about what you're getting into, Jill, but the other question I have for you, because other people have done this, where they've stepped away from something they've built, but they've stayed involved. And I've heard two things. One, I've heard sometimes it's a pinch, sometimes it's good. What has your experience been?
It's a little of both.
A little of both?
Right.
It's fine for us in that we still want to be involved with teaching the students here. I mean, they're all around the country. I think it's a little hard on the people who follow us. They don't really want us to leave, but making it their own thing is a little harder.
Yes.
And in that sense, it'd be better if we just stepped away. But I think the institution actually, that institution still does need us as the sort of figureheads, involved figureheads, I
Yes.
think.
Yes.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I do.
And your mentorship as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we moved more into mentoring.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I enjoy that a lot. I love to see the younger people come along and begin writing. I help them get their stuff published. And
When you look back, if you were yourself when you made that decision, and I am assuming it was a decision you had to think carefully, weigh carefully, you were going to do this. It's got the bonus of travel, but travel is challenging. Are you glad you did it?
Oh, I'm thrilled.
Are you?
And I love the travel. I don't get
I know you do.
I don't get jet lagged as it happens.
Yeah.
I've got a way of handling it. But it was serendipity.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was going to come along and give me the next set of things to really focus on. The main thing is that somebody really identify what they want to be doing and do that.
And do it.
And do it with enthusiasm. And
So your passion is what's driven you all along. It continues to drive you.
right.
Yeah. Well, you two are both inspirations and wonderful friends. Thank you for sharing.
Thanks, Molly.
Happy to
sharing.
be here. Yeah.
You've been watching Job IQ Outside the Box. You can subscribe on our website. There's lots more information there. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.